Here's the part I don't hear a lot of online coaches talking about, and I think this really matters. I posted online for 6 years. Not perfectly, not every single day, but consistently enough that I should have had better results. And for a long time, I was stuck. I was stuck at 8,000 followers. And it's because I was looking at the wrong metrics. I was focused on the wrong things. I felt productive, but I really wasn't productive. I was looking at shares, saves, comments, engagement metrics, and those matter, but I wasn't paying attention to what was actually growing my account. I wasn't tracking how much content was reaching non-followers and whether I was increasing that percentage over time and what specific topics were pulling new followers in. I was creating content that I thought was good, but not doubling down on what people really wanted. And that's the difference. What finally changed everything is when I stopped asking, did people like this? And started asking, did this reach new people? And did it convert them into followers? And that's when I noticed the pattern. Certain topics consistently brought in new followers. Certain messages made people stay. And certain videos got shared beyond my audience. So instead of trying to be well-rounded, I leaned in. I created more of what was already working, aligned content. And that's when growth started compounding. This is why many coaches feel like they're doing everything right and still going nowhere. They're showing up, but they're not measuring the behaviors that actually move the needle. They're improving effort without improving direction. So I got super intentional and I actually created my own journal, which I'm going to turn this into something eventually, but I'm still, dialing it in because I've been making some changes each week. But this is how I can track the behaviors and I can look at what actually matters. Here, this is like a daily calendar per half hour. And then I look at showing up. What am I doing? This is my daily time with God. And really making sure that I'm intentional with that, because I believe if you're connected with your creator, you're going to be more creative. Started to get intentional with that. I was praying. I was already doing a lot of this, but I wasn't intentional. Then I started to track all of my videos and certain metrics. I was tracking percentage of non-followers reached, skip rate. I did identify that I had a hook problem. The people that were following me already were liking my content, but I wasn't reaching new ones because I didn't have a strong enough hook. The video didn't get pushed to enough people. Then I focused on followers gained on each video, okay? And shares, saves, and average watch time. Then I started to identify the patterns between my top performers, and then I leaned into that. I also did research on these topics that were top performers. Then I leaned in and I thought, okay, let me look up this topic, see what else is performing well, because my audience would probably want to see more of that. And then I could recreate that. And this is how I grew from 8,000 followers to now 16,000, less than 60 days. I went from 8,000 to 15,000 in less than 30. Now, with that being said, this is why it's so important that you know who you are, what you stand for, so that you're only creating things that are in alignment with that. You don't want something to take off if it's not really a topic that means something to you, that matters. You have to be very mindful of what you're creating and why, but lean into what's actually getting you growth. Lean into the metrics that matter and the behaviors, the daily behaviors that matter. Track your behaviors. See, how are you really showing up? I ask people all the time, how frequently have you posted? It's like, oh, I've been trying to do this online coaching business for 3 months, but they've only posted 10 videos. Well, that's not going to cut it. People need to spend 7 hours with you before they even think about trusting you to invest with you. You're not going to get there with 5, 10 videos, especially if they're 60 seconds or less. So you have to look at the things that matter. This is building relationships and tracking your efforts daily to see, are you doing that or not? It's a big difference. If you're an online coach and you're thinking about quitting because your account isn't growing fast enough, pause for a moment. Don't quit. Ask yourself a different question, a better question. Not why is it not working, but am I actually doing the things to make it work? Because followers, views, and virality are lagging indicators. They show up after you do the work, not before. The coaches who make it aren't the ones that are the most confident. They're the ones who just stayed long enough for consistency to compound. So track what you can control. How many days you posted, how many conversations you started, how often you followed up, how clearly you spoke to people that were already engaging with you. If you do that long enough, growth becomes inevitable. And if you're early, good. Early is where skill is built. Confidence doesn't come from numbers going up. Numbers go up after confidence is built through follow through. So don't disappear, don't start over, don't assume you're behind. Focus on the inputs, stay in the game, and let time do what it's always done. If this video gave you clarity, hit the subscribe button, not for motivation, but for strategy, discernment, and consistency. That's how real online coaching businesses are built.